Welcome, folks, to another episode of Who's Ghost Stories that is slightly different, because this is something a little new. It's something a little different. This idea was brought up by our very own everyday normal guy. And I just realized your name says Normal Everyday Joe.
It's funny because my name's not even Joe.
No,
we have a Joe. We have a Joe.
Oh.
Everyday normal Joe Tyler. This is a little new show that we're going to be doing periodically called Huz Conspiracy Theories. Now, you probably saw the disclaimer and you're curious what it was, so now you get to know what it is all about. Every episode here we'll be breaking down a new conspiracy theory. We may or may not believe any of the stuff we talk about, but we're here for entertainment and informational purposes here to talk about some of these wacky things that are just hanging out below the surface of society. With me are my normal, beautiful co-hosts, Professor Alex Wheaton, and our everyday normal Joe, Tyler, over here. And, of course, myself, Reiki Master and Medium, Andrew Huzar. Of course, as usual, you can find all the links down below. Click the link tree to get links to all the social and the merch store. Go everywhere. You can even go to whosarreiki.com. I don't want to throw out any sponsors since this is a special, unique thing we're doing here, and it's probably going to get a copyright strike.
It's also definitely not connected to the normal content.
No. The algorithm's probably going to hate it as well because we said conspiracy 62 times already.
Conspiracy.
Alex, before we let Tyler take us down our travels today, do you have anything you want to tell everyone about our new conspiracy theory show?
Honestly, Andrew already said it. Some of these we may or may not personally believe. That's totally up to you to choose if you want to believe it or not. But yeah, we're diving into some things that are from the range of odd and interesting to batshit crazy.
Yeah.
We'll pretty much cover a whole wide range because that's what conspiracy theories are. They're from the minor little things in life all the way to the crazy. So, stick with us as we go through a interesting time of discussing some of these things. So, I guess that's all I have to say.
And like in our normal show, expect some special guests from time to time to tune up with this. But also, one thing I just wanted to mention that I don't know why your spiel reminded me of this. These are things as conspiracy theories that are difficult to research and
prove or disprove.
Right. So it's
a lot of them are hard to prove or disprove,
which we've run into with some ghost stories. But there's usually things to follow. These are really a lot of these are like, here's the theory, and then here's everyone joining in on it. So it's tough to kind of pick and choose what goes into it versus what doesn't. So because of that, the research on these isn't going to be very big or great a lot of the times. If the rabbit hole leads down somewhere, of course, we love going down rabbit holes. But also, as you'll find in some of these as well, if there's not really much logic or fact to it, I'm just going to throw it into something like ChatGPT, and I'm going to let them tell the theory, and then we're going to run with whatever they tell us, and we're all going to have a little surprise episode. Woo-hoo! So, just want to let you know, if you hear some things and you're like, that's not the way that theory's supposed to go, just know that Possible AI wrote the introduction because I wanted to be surprised by what I was going to find out. But, without further ado, Tyler came up with the idea for the show, so we let him come up with the idea for the debut episode. So, Tyler, why don't you go ahead and take us in?
All right. Well, today we're for the first rabbit hole. There's no real easy way to say this because it's kind of strikes the American spirit right at the heart. It's something that every American loves deeply, once a week, usually on the Lord's Day. But the conspiracy theory today is that the NFL is as fake as the WWE. and is damn near just as scripted.
Didn't even know the WWE was fake.
That's right. That's right. So everyone knows that professional wrestling is all fake and scripted. Hell, there's even a word for it. It's called kayfabe. But what if someone told you that a major corporation worth billions and billions of dollars, 163 billion to be exact, was just as scripted as the WWE itself? Well, I'd imagine that you'd react as most of my friends and family reacted when I brought up the same question to them. I received a bunch of different responses from the NFL and looking for someone to blame for the bill here. And I said, you know what? You're right. But I am here today to present a few topics that might change your opinion on the matter. Now listen, when I say the NFL is scripted, I'm not talking about some random bum-ass Week 3 meeting between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, all right? It's, the team that wouldn't go anywhere in the season and when the wild card hunt is over. I'm more so talking about the postseason and the big moments in games leading up to the postseason, usually those primetime spots, and sometimes even the Super Bowl, or football mania, as I like to call it, because again, well, it's fake. Because I truly believe the NFL is just as rigged as the WWE. So, in this episode, we'll talk about some of mine and Drew's and Alex's favorite and most believable theories as to why the outcome of the Super Bowl, in my opinion, is predetermined by the wild card weekend.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Now,
Hey, thank you for letting me have a little fun here.
Now, this is exciting for me because usually I'm the one that dives in believing everything, and I get to be the skeptic for once instead of these two, because Alex is a lifelong Steelers fan, so he got clowned by the Patriots every AFC Championship game for like 15 years.
Quite a while.
Tyler is a Buffalo Bills fan who is currently being clowned by the Chiefs.
Former
Bills fan who got clowned by the Chiefs, which kind of led to him in this spot that he's in, but it's a complicated issue.
Well, don't worry. We'll get to that point a little later on.
And I'm a Dolphins.
I want to talk about that.
You are a Dolphins fan.
I'm a Dolphins fan, and for most of my life, we have been awful. And when we've been good, it still hasn't been good enough to do anything. Dan Marino's lone Super Bowl appearance. That's all we can hope for is the playoffs at this point. We just want to win in the playoffs. But
let's start at 500, huh?
Dan Marino's lone Super Bowl appearance was before I was born, so I was raised during Dan Marino's years, but it was during the time where it was he's good but not good enough. So my expectations were already low to start. Alex, like I said, was a Steelers fan. Every year was AFC Championship game, Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Tom Brady snuffs out the flame.
Bastard.
Tyler over here, as he's being born and raised and cradled, it's around the time of the Bills' repeated Super Bowl runs. So he was born with an optimism that few of us experience in our life. Yeah. And then as he grows older, it's during the
false sense of hope.
Yeah, false sense of hope is what he's born with. And then as he grows older, he merges with the Dolphin fandom of the years of Ryan Fitzpatrick and C.J. Spiller, E.J. Manuel, just utter garbage. And then
Bills keep Ryan Fitzpatrick's name out of your mouth. I won't listen to the slander.
I can talk about him. He's a former Dolphin, too.
I know. Which is why you should respect him even more.
As the Bills get good again, the Chiefs just stomp a mud hole in them. So I'm the only one that hasn't been affected by a curse, a fix, except for one situation that we'll talk about. But, Alex, I'll let you start this off here as the educator. What do you got here about the NFL's rigged?
Honest to God, I've been holding on to the maybe not all the NFL, but the Super Bowl is rigged. I've been following that one for a good 7-8 years now, personally, because I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. And yeah, there's
So
been a couple years recently that where the game itself is very boring. It's very like a standard game, and I'm like, okay, because then I can remember like Super Bowls from like 2006 to 2012 were like solid nail biters, good games. Everything was like really intense energy. It was close games. Like you tuned in to watch and you were getting a quality game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it started to get like almost one sided or it was like not as interesting. It's like, what? I know I'm not a lot less interested in football or sports. Like, what the hell is happening? Why are these two teams not as good? Why did these two teams get to the Super Bowl? And that was when I found specifically the sub part of this whole theory where the Super Bowl is rigged. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they predetermined what teams are going to make it to the Super Bowl at like a midpoint of the season, but then they develop that as kind of like you were saying, like the WWE, you set up the storyline of this team starting and going all the way through.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and clearly, if that is true, the stories that they're putting forward are absolutely terrible because I don't care about it. I don't want to watch it. I'll definitely admit there was a couple of Super Bowls, and I was like, you know what? I'll work on that day because I don't mind if I miss it because I was not interested in it. And so I'm actually in that weird camp where I'm like I could see believability that it is rigged.
You know, and that little sub part of it does kind of stick out because there are some peculiar Super Bowls now that I think about it. You know, there was the Ravens 49ers where it was a blowout to the power outage.
Yep.
It's very suspicious. You know, they can blame it on Beyonce and whatever all they want, but that was not a competitive game till the power went out.
No, not at all.
Let's see, I love Matthew Stafford, but, you know, I do have to say that the Rams' run to being Super Bowl champions does stick out as a little weird, considering who else could have made the Super Bowl from the NFC.
Yeah.
I'll also say the Kelsey Bowl between the Eagles and Chiefs had a storyline written all over it, but
right?
Last year's Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl, it not being a very good team, and Buffalo was definitely the superior team last year, and wide right happened again. But the Chiefs making it there.
And least we not forget the Brady years.
All of them.
Every single Brady year.
Start with the Tuck rule.
Slightly deflated balls. Don't get me started, that bastard. And I want to bring up Andrew and I coach football. It may be for little kids, but we coach, so we know how the game works and how shenanigans happen during games. Yeah. We know shenanigans very well. And I'm just saying, with that context, I don't look at a lot of those games the same anymore. I'm like, there's something going on that's not part of the game.
And you bringing up our coaching is a very good point because we know refs can
be bought,
can be persuaded for certain calls. We've seen a lot of that in the NFL. So here's the first question.
Is this an admission of guilt on a Pee-wee level?
No.
Not us. We do not buy the refs.
I wish I did.
Oh, okay.
We don't have the money for that.
No. But my first question here that I'm going to throw out there into this topic that I've been thinking about since I knew this was coming. Is the NFL being rigged, whether it's the full season or postseason or just the Super Bowl? Is it a league down rigging? Is it a commissioner level only, or is it ref level? Because I think you can let the teams in on it. No. The players, I don't think.
I think certain players, no. So I've gone down this rabbit hole with another friend, some years ago. And again, in the realm of conspiracy, in the spirit of conspiracy, I should say, he had a friend, and this sounds like a fucking, I know how crackpot this sounds. So, disclaimer there, okay? A friend of mine in college found himself on the dark web, and I don't know the specifics or the details, but he saw some stuff on the dark web about the NFL being rigged, and he said that it's mostly at the ref level, but the bigwigs are in on it. Again, looking at the Brady years, Roger Goodell's best friend is Bob Kraft, owner of the fucking Patriots.
It's the
So
high
right
level
there.
ref.
Yeah.
I could see it being Goodell straight to the refs. I could buy into that pipeline very easily.
I could buy commissioner to refs too.
Easily.
Yeah, I could
The
buy
guy's the worst.
commissioner to refs.
The guy's the worst commissioner in history.
Because I have some video evidence, like I said, but there is an infinite amount of ref issues that have cost teams games.
Oh God!
Yeah. You know how far it goes back? It goes back to 2012 with the replacement refs.
Fail Mary.
Yeah.
God!
Ever since then, we don't know what to catch.
Right, exactly.
Oh God!
Right. And no one knows what pass interference is anymore. The two things, a catch. This game's been around 100 years, and you don't know what a catch is in the game of football.
Yep.
That's like redefining a hit in baseball. It's the essence of the game. Like it's
holy crap! It's like, the same stuff that I yell at our kids at the little league pee-wee level because they're like, "That's pass interference." No, it's not pass interference. Pass interference is very specific. How do we not know what that is? And the kids watch the NFL.
Remember,
go by.
Yes,
that's not.
Remember years ago when you had to turn, the defender had to turn around and make a play on the ball, or else it's pass interference, and you couldn't just run and go like this. Yeah, that's all you see now.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
It's not
the whole NFL. The NFL is a shell of its former self. It sucks, top down.
So I think, can we actually say that this is a fairly recent development?
I'd say so.
Yeah, I'd say it was then. I think it's 2012. I think my timeline for this goes to 2012.
I'm kind of okay with that.
As far as 12 years.
Because like listen, that's around the time where some Super Bowls became less competitive.
Yeah, and it was also very weak picks and things like that. And then that was also during the Brady years as well.
Yeah. So listen, as you know, I'm a baseball guy, huge baseball guy, right? You know the path it takes for an MLB umpire to first make it to the MLB and retain his job? Aware of the path?
No.
So, let me inform you for everyone that doesn't know. And this is paraphrasing, and this is just a very shortened version of how the path an MLB umpire makes it from literal ump college to the MLB. Okay? So you start off in umpire college, and you have, I believe the number's like a 90, you have to score to get a 96, right? And you go the same route as the players do. You start in single A, double A, triple A, MLB, right? So, if you score below a 96, or whatever, again, paraphrasing, whatever that number is, it's in the 90s, right? So you start off and you are watched this whole way from triple A, blah, 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 right? If you score below, at any point, if you score below, calling a 96, a 96% correct call rate, you get sent back down to the league before, and if you get 3 strikes, no pun intended, you have to go back and start college all over again. And out of a class about, call it for easy math, 100 umpires in class, I think the number's like 2 or 3 actually make it to the MLB. And you have to retain that job, right? It's still being watched under a microscope at the highest level. So how is it, and I say this to bring up my next point, how is it that MLB, also an organization worth billions of dollars, NFL, much more popular in today's America, way more popular, right? So therefore, the NFL is worth more than the MLB. The NFL is shoved down your throat with ads and all this other bullshit, right? So they make more money. How can you not train and pay for the proper training for your referees to be on the same consistent line?
Yep.
It makes no sense.
No full-time refs.
And exactly. I forgot about that. Exactly. No full-time refs. Are you kidding me?
Like,
I think
you're exactly right, because like the refs should be treated almost as a team where like Monday through Friday they're watching film, they're practicing, like everything.
Yeah.
Oh my
they
God.
get brought out together.
Yeah.
To be an NFL referee, there's no specific education requirement. Minimum of a high school diploma is required.
I might apply to be a ref.
I mean,
So
you know what?
there is,
To be fair,
yeah,
most of the players in the NFL don't have high school diplomas either, so
it's also
they just get college paid for.
They do require for the NFL, you have to have a minimum of 10 years of experience officiating football games. Now, the experience must include at least 5 years at varsity collegiate level. You could ref
Collegiate.
college level for 5 years and then ref Little League for 5 years, and you have enough qualifications to be an NFL ref.
And
You
everyone
gotta crawl before you ball.
and collegiate level though, varsity also includes local colleges, Division III colleges.
Yeah.
So if you ref 5 and in university,
Community college ref.
you technically meet that minimum.
You need 10 total.
Yeah,
but yeah.
5 varsity collegiate years. So you can find some slack Division 4 team that has like 16 rostered players, and as long as you ref there for 5 years, you've met the collegiate requirement.
It's a bare minimum requirement. Oh my God.
And then you call up Roger Goodell and he says, "Here's your stripes, son. Go get them. Make me money. Put Mahomes back in the Super Bowl."
Actual training or education.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
And since they're not full time,
That's what I'm saying.
they just work.
That doesn't that doesn't raise some red flags. It does to me, and I do believe that the NFL's rigged. So again, talking about the disclaimer about we may believe in some of these theories. I believe in this one, and not just because I've watched my Bills get screwed over, but just because that right there, how
Okay.
that should raise red flags to every NFL. That should raise red flags to every football fan who sits on their ass every Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah. You're just as qualified to ref the game as they are.
Yeah.
Like, I even think about other sports, like soccer has very strict rules for who can be a referee.
Yeah.
Like
Hockey.
There's a lot of required training. It seems that does
exactly.
not.
And it's the NFL. I got to do some research here so I don't sound like an asshole. But let's see.
You got a little bit of training.
None. Here's the NFL rule book. No wonder that none of them know what a catch is. They're not told what a catch is.
What, can you pull up the NFL rule book? Nice.
So the thing that always gets brought up as an argument against the NFL being rigged is the teams that do go on to win the Super Bowls don't make a lot of sense sometimes. Like Jerry Jones, would love to see his Cowboys back in the Super Bowl, and they've just been utter garbage for
America's team.
Yeah, he would love them to be back America's team, but they haven't been for long time.
Yeah.
The Patriots, it's a weird pick until you realize how close he is with Robert Kraft, like you said. But people argue teams major market teams like Chicago, the Jets. There are teams out there that would make sense to be rigged for, and other ones that make winning it. So how do you think they pick who ends up going? Safety.
Sorry, the NFL.
I
Official signals.
What was that? What was that?
How do you think the NFL picks what teams they want to rig it for? Because they don't always make sense.
Seriously. I mean, like I said, Bob Kraft is best friends, but he's in battle with Roger Goodell. I don't know who the owner of the Chiefs is, but he did something to make Patty Mahomes a Super Bowl hero time and time again.
I'm sorry. This is fact. This is not anything, but so I'm trying to find out specifically. I want to look up some of the things in the NFL official rule book and everything. And so in Section 2 of Article 11, specifically the Commissioner Authority. The Commissioner has the sole authority to investigate and take appropriate disciplinary and or corrective measures in any club action, non-participant interference, or calamity occurs in an NFL game, which the Commissioner deems so extraordinary, unfair, or outside the accepted tactics entered in professional football that such action has a major effect on the result of the game. AKA, if they think something's really bad going on in interference, the Commissioner has total say over everything.
I love the word calamity there.
Total say.
He's judge, jury, and executioner.
Yes, he is. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm doing research because I'm finding the net worth of each collective sports, not franchise, but with each league. And I can't find a good. So everyone I type in pops right up, except for one. The NFL won't give me how much it's worth.
Oh yeah.
Every other 3 sports leagues just pop up like the MLB is worth an estimated. I said 163 earlier. I don't remember where I found that when I wrote the intro, but it seems the algorithm doesn't want me to find something. So we'll go with that 163 figure. Anyone want to guess what the next biggest sports league is and how much?
Soccer, and it's significantly lower.
I didn't even look up soccer. I just looked up the big 4 in America.
I'd say hockey, and it's probably half.
I know it's definitely like half.
Wrong. Hockey's last.
Oh.
If it has to be an American one, I would guess it would be baseball.
I'd probably go basketball.
No, basketball.
Yeah, NBA. NBA is worth between $90 and $100 billion. Then, the MLB, $79 billion. Yeah. NHL, $57.3 billion.
Yeah.
So the NFL is worth over $100 billion more than the least earning league.
And the NFL can't even get a cool trophy.
You can't even find it. They can't find the budgeting or whatever the reason is for training refs properly.
Nope. So let's get into the video evidence here, because this first one is one of the most infamous moments. But this specific moment also led to one of the worst Super Bowls ever, to talk about Alex's point about Super Bowls not being the greatest. It got a major market team into the Super Bowl, which then lost to the Patriots. I'm talking about the Saints and Rams pass interference.
Oh, God.
So let's go ahead. Let me pull up the tab here. I believe I already muted it, so hopefully we don't get copyright struck for audio. Right, here we go. We're going to let it play. This is the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl, so it's like 2017-ish.
Rams. Oh.
This is what led to the Rams Patriots. So maybe 20
Oh, the past. Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
right here.
Yes, I do remember this now. Yep.
So like Tyler said, in the past you had to be looking at the play, trying to make a pass, and like you'd be good. But this guy's not looking at the pass at all. He's not playing the ball.
Right.
He just literally kills the Saints receiver.
Right.
I'm just saying, that's a pass interference. 100%. You can't tackle the ball, the person receiving the ball. Period. Full stop. There's not even a.
No,
There shouldn't be an argument on this one.
he's not even
Right.
touching
Exactly.
the ball. Like, you can't hit him before he touches the ball, and he lays him
Yeah.
out. Not even close. Not like he's in front of the ball. Boom. No flag.
Not even looking. Doesn't even look for the ball. Goes
Yep.
fucking headhunting.
Yep. And if they throw that flag, Saints get the ball at the goal line.
Look.
Score touchdown.
Go back. There's a ref right there. You can see his head looking
Yes.
at the play. Looking at it. Watching it.
And I know people are like, well, in real time it's tough, and it's like, no, he's right
He's
there.
right
not.
there.
And you can see how far ahead of the ball he is.
There's no.
Wait, look.
The ref is within 15 yards of him, looking right at him. As he
15?
happens. Like it's
Not
not
even
like
15.
no, that's not even close. Like it's not even debatable. Like that should have been passing.
Now, honestly, if you want to argue that that is not pass interference, which it 100% is, you want to argue it's not. Can we talk about unsportsmanlike conduct? Like you can pick any number of personal fouls for that because, again, in football, if you are on defense and you absolutely lay out a person that's running to catch the ball, usually that gets flagged because you're not allowed to do that.
Yep. And
Right.
You're allowed to get them the moment they have the ball. You're allowed to grab the ball out of the air, but you can't physically knock the person down.
And
yeah,
like I said, this had a domino effect because the Saints were a really good team that year. Last year they were a really good team. So if they win this game, there's the very good real chance they go on to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. By not calling the pass interference. The Rams move on, so you now move a major market team that hasn't been to the Super Bowl in a long time there, and it gives the Patriots the win. So that right there is definitely, I feel, a major point towards the NFL is rigged at some level.
Yeah.
I
mean,
that one is easily probably the worst. I mean, well, we're going to get to the next one, which might be worse, actually. Tyler, what else do you think about that one specifically?
I mean, pretty much covered it, man. I mean, again, that was 2017, 2018. Not that long ago, where a defender, like we talked about earlier, had to turn and make a play on the ball, and let alone, not be, you can't touch the guy before he's making a play on the ball.
Right.
And that defender doesn't even look at the football, doesn't even look at it, and it's just it's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
The next one I'm gonna play here is just as bad of a no call, but I think it's 1,000 times funnier, and it is actually from this year. We're talking about Tyler's favorite team, the Chiefs. And their no-call pass interference against the Falcons, Kyle Pitts. We'll let it load here.
I think I haven't seen this because of my protest, but I have a feeling this is going to make me want to continue my protest.
What just happened there?
Well, allow us to slow it down here, hopefully. So, in the end zone, he just decides to hug the offensive receiver here. So first off, you have that there, but then he's just
that's 100% a penalty.
He is he is holding it, and again, he's not looking at the ball. He just sees the
No.
offensive player jump, and he just hugs him.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Again, referee standing right in the back of the end zone looking at it, 10 feet away.
He's watching it happen. Like,
You know, like we were talking about the Brady era and everything. I mean, it's getting just as egregious now with the Chiefs. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Because, like, you see things like that, and one, it's like, that is clearly a penalty. There is a ref that can clearly see this is a penalty and just no flag. I mean, this one was just an early season game, didn't have the stakes that the other one had that we watched.
Right.
But with this one, like, with the Bills being so good right now, every win matters, because if the Chiefs lost to the Bills, so the Bills have the tiebreaker. So if the record gets even, the Bills are the number 1 seed.
Yeah. And home field advantage in the playoffs.
So I mean, that call could end up being one of the things that gives the Chiefs the home field advantage through the playoffs, which would give them the advantage to get back to the Super Bowl. Another one from this year, that this one's another minor one, but again, it helped give the Chiefs an early season win. And this one is really, really minor compared to the other ones we'll be checking out here. But nonetheless, it is one that does point to some shenanigans and happening. The storyline behind this one here is only head coaches can call timeouts on the staff.
Okay.
First game of the year, the Chiefs' defensive coordinator goes to call a timeout, which should have been a penalty, and it was not. Like I said here,
Trying to get the timeout call there. As the Chiefs
mute that. So it's very clear when they show it here that it's the defensive coordinator and not Andy Reid running up to call this timeout. So that should have actually been a penalty, extending the Ravens' drive, giving them a better chance at a touchdown and field goal to end the first half here. It was not.
How can, if you make that a rule, how can you let that go?
Right, how do you not know your role?
Right. And like I said, like, things happen in the moment, but you realize, hey, this actually isn't Andy Reid. This is a totally different guy.
I'm not a head. Yeah, or on the defensive corner. Hey, I'm not a head coach. I can't do this.
Right. And
like how?
And like right there too, this is a real easy one that you can correct in the moment, because it's like once you realize, oh wait, that wasn't the head coach, you throw the flag.
Yeah, no time. Right.
And you give the Ravens their yardage. You don't go with it and then just stand there like. So it's another one, like I said, very, very minor compared to what else we'll look at, but definitely one that helped the Chiefs, which gave them another early season win. This one breaks my heart that we're going to be looking at here next.
Well, I'm going to break your heart even more when I read you the official 2024 NFL rulebook's definitions of pass interference.
I'll let you read that after this video here. This one here.
Does it say not sure?
This is the 2-point conversion between the Detroit Lions and the Cowboys that would have given the Lions the victory. Let's hit play. And this is the one where the reason the flag was thrown is the ref said the Lions tackle did not report as an eligible receiver. However, there are multiple video angles of the Lions tackle going up to the ref and telling him he is eligible. So here is the penalty where they call back the 2-point conversion. And the Lions would go for it again. They would not get the 2-point conversion. Thus, they would lose the game. Now, great play. Tackle eligible plays, they are the greatest plays ever. Big man touchdown are always awesome, but a big man receiving touchdown is awesome, let alone one to win the game. And this did have playoff implications too, where the Lions were robbed of their seeding because of this loss. But the video should be panning here soon to the interesting part of all this nonsense. That's just Dan Campbell being mad, which I would be mad too. Oh, we only got a few seconds left for that. Cool. So it'll be right here. Tackle pissed off because he, told the ref, hey, I'm eligible. So there's Goff telling the tackle, you need to go tell the ref that you're eligible. And then here is the Lions tackle walking over to the ref and telling him he is eligible.
And then running away?
Yep, and then the ref alleges he was never told.
Bullshit!
We have video evidence confirming that the Lions tackle was over and told.
He chose not to listen.
It's
fucked up.
Alex, present us with your rule book here.
So this is from the official NFL website. This is the official 2024 rule book. So under Section 5, pass interference, under plays and penalties and things like that. Article 2, prohibited acts by both teams while the ball is in the air. Acts that are pass interference include, but are not limited to, contact by a player who is not playing the ball that restricts the opponent's opportunity to make the catch. That's the obvious. Playing through the back of an opponent in an attempt to make a play on the ball. That first example, he was turned, that was playing through his back. I would 100% say that is pass interference. Grabbing an opponent's arms in such a manner that restricts his opportunity to catch a pass. I would argue the bear hug qualifies as that. Extending an arm across the body of an opponent, thus restricting his ability to catch a pass, and regardless of whether the player committing such act is playing ball. Cutting off the path of an opponent by making contact with him without playing the ball. I'd also argue that one playing through the back also qualifies that. He's cutting off that path. Hooking an opponent in an attempt to get the ball in such a manner that it causes the opponent's body to turn prior to the ball arriving. We've seen that before.
Yep.
And initiating contact with an opponent by shoving or pushing off, thus creating separation. All those things are the legal definitions of what pass interference is by the NFL. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They said this is exactly it.
Yeah, and those are very straightforward definitions.
Yeah. And now this is where things get fuzzy, because they have acts that are permissible, and it's based on situations. It's incidental contact by an opponent's hand, arm, or body when both players are competing for the ball or neither player is looking for the ball. If there's any question whether contact is incidental, the ruling shall be no interference. They legitimately made a bullshit loophole rule to say, yeah, if you're not sure what to call it, just say it's no contact, no interference. No, that's not how that works. Some of the things that do make sense, inadvertent tangling of feet when both players are running for the ball, that makes sense. You can't control that, really. Laying a hand on an opponent that does not restrict them and making a play with the ball, that makes sense. Contact with a player who has gained position on an opponent in an attempt to catch the ball is apparently not pass interference. And then my favorite, when a team presents a punt formation, and before the ball is kicked, acts that normally constitute pass interference against the end man on the line of scrimmage or against an eligible receiver behind the line of scrimmage who is aligned for or motion for more than 1 yard at the end of the line. Essentially, it's not pass interference if the team presents a fake punt. Like, if you presented a fake punt and then you go for the pass, you can't have pass interference on, like, the tight ends or anything because, well, it was supposed to be a punt, according to all things said. Go figure. But these are the official rules from the NFL website. Like, I pulled the actual NFL rule book up. This is what they use to call things. This is absolutely crazy.
It's
Beautiful.
all so.
Yeah.
This is from when the Dolphins played the Eagles last year. And it's a little montage of all of the holds that went uncalled that the Eagles performed on the Dolphins players. Now, ultimately, I don't think it would have affected the outcome because the Eagles trounced the Dolphins. But there's a lot of holds that are pretty clear. That could have altered it. That's a face mask.
Dude, holding such a weird penalty. You could call that every play if you wanted.
You could.
Yes.
There is some instances though where it is a little
There's
a little much.
There's a fine line between holding and holding.
Mm-hmm.
Send the Napoleon Dynamite. I might have to put the audio on for this one.
Looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah, I remember this video. This is when the refs cheated for the Bills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was
What was
some
that?
bullshit. This was some bullshit. This just happened this year that gave the Bills the victory over Miami.
Oh, there it is. There where it comes out.
So I'm gonna leave the volume on for this one because this guy looks like Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know what he's gonna say. So what happened here? Dolphins Bills game, which was very competitive this year. This was the most recent one, and the Bills were driving down in their hurry up, and the Bills player spotted the ball. The ref never went over and spotted it.
What?
The Bills player took the ball when he got tackled, ran over and put it down, and the ref never spotted the ball.
That would be illegal handling of the ball. That's a very clear penalty.
Yeah, the ref just let the Bills player spot their own ball. So we'll jump in.
I've never seen this happen in an NFL game. I've been watching the NFL for 50 billion freaking years. They literally let the
tackled.
spot the ball. The ref does not touch the ball at all. They let
And
the
he runs over.
spot the ball. Look, the ref never even touches it. They literally let a Bills player spot the ball. I have never seen this happen in an NFL game. I've been watching the NFL for.
We'll be with him. He didn't say anything cool. Yeah, so.
But legitimately, you can see it. He grabs the ball, runs it back. He spotted the ball.
Which should have been the penalty, which would have pretty much probably killed their drive, leading the Dolphins win.
It would have killed their drive, and it would have caused a minor hiccup and everything because they would have had to do a whole penalty and moving the ball and the sticks and everything, and that would have been holy crap.
Now, why? You're probably asking, why would the refs cheat to help the Bills when they always screwed the Bills out against the Chiefs? And I'll tell you why. It's because they want as much momentum for the Bills going into Chiefs Kingdom to give that game as much velocity as possible. Now, if the Bills here trickle out and tinkle, pee their pants against the Finns, you don't have that drama going against the Chiefs anymore. In the NBA, there's a popular thing that might not really be considered cheating. And
what a terrible sport, too. Dear God, that is a boring sport.
It might not be considered cheating. It might not involve like paying off the refs. But there's something to be said in the NBA in the argument of being rigged when you get players that flop to draw penalties. And it's clear instances of flopping. And it happens in the NFL a lot. But the video I'm going to show you now is of my favorite flopper in the entire league. We're going to go ahead and go over there. I already turned off the audio, so I'm not going to have to worry about this one popping up at all. Let's go ahead and let's see how big we can make this here. But this is Josh Allen's flopping. The best flopper of all time. Now that's that's a hit.
That's a legitimate hit.
That he actually hit Josh Allen. I don't know why that's in here. That's a good acting fall though.
But that is a great.
Up there it is.
Oh, that was kind of freaking.
Little extra dramatics on that one.
Yeah.
Help!
This is coming.
Ah! What is it?
Is it coming through spotty on your end too?
Yeah, whereas that first one was definitely a real hit. The other ones here, he's definitely throwing in some acting.
Well, it's what he majored in Wyoming for.
Look at the sniper shot him there.
I love the head throwback on every one. That's where he gets it, I think. That's where he gets me.
You know,
And down he goes. Like he just got knocked out by Rocky.
Oh my god.
you didn't know that Josh Allen majored in acting at Wyoming?
Nope, I didn't
It
know
makes
that.
sense.
Well,
Like I said, flopping itself is not cheating, nor does it involve buying off the rest. But it could because, I mean,
or is it just strategy?
that flop, and there's no one
No.
better at it than Josh Allen.
Listen, I know I'm protesting. I'm not watching football this year and potentially ever again. But that's just strategy, okay?
Tom Brady doesn't know the longer strategy.
It's like that old saying, smoke them if you got them. The rest right there, hey. And I'm starting to think now the rest might just be dumb as So, I mean, you might as well convince them idiots.
So, as we wrap this one up here, let's give these a ranking here. Let's go. On a scale of pass interference flags, how likely do you think it is this theory could be true? Alex, we'll throw it to you first.
How do I rank this? Like you said, with
The more flags, the more likely it is. And I'm not going to give you...
oh, this is enough flags to not only completely remove every coach from the game, but like half of the team. Like, there's so many flags that this is a fully rigged game from the start. Yeah, the amount of stuff that we've talked about, I think something that we're going to discover as we talk about more conspiracy theories is that there's some things that are true that are absolutely batshit crazy. And I think we're going to discover that the truth might actually be part of it. The conspiracy theory itself might be a little wackadoo, but the actual facts might prove holy crap. So I'm full on in this. I think this is very likely. This is like 100 flags out of 100 flags thrown. That would be my official ranking for how real I think this one might be.
Tyler, I'm going to throw it over to you now.
Well, talking about flags thrown, I like to make the counter argument of lack thereof flags thrown in certain instances. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 12, I would like to do a part 2 eventually, and kind of bring in some more evidence. Do a little more research, and nail down some stuff because I think this is just the top layer, and I think it gets a lot deeper than this.
So, I'll say too, a lot of flags that there is credence to this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to offer up 2 arguments that say the NFL is rigged at some level, whether it's every year, whether it's owners involved, whatever level it is, there's some sort of rigging to it. And I'm going to bring up 2 cases here. 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina. The Super Bowl after 9/11 was the first Super Bowl won by the Patriots.
Yep.
The first Super Bowl won after Hurricane
was red, white, and blue.
Saints. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Coincidence? I think not.
Now, some people I've heard argue against this. Why wouldn't you have New York win? And I counter argue because they're the Jets.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god!
And the Giants were not good.
Oh! The Patriots
But though it makes sense with the Patriots though, because look, their name is the Patriots, and there was just a terrorist attack on America. Who else do you want to win? The Patriots.
This is the
And
Jets.
they're white and blue.
Oh! Nothing could have prepared me for that.
Everyone that says, why wouldn't you let New York do it? Now, I do vaguely remember the Giants were pretty awful around that time period, so it'd be tough to rig it for them. But yeah, the Patriots' first Super Bowl came after September 11th. So, we got that one.
Immediately following
Hurricane
Katrina. And you know what? I remember that year too.
Yep, and everyone was on the Saints bandwagon.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh God.
So there's two right there that, of course, you can look at it as, Katrina's the eternal hope and, attitude of people coming together for their place. And the other one you can see it as the Patriots rising up with the Tuck rule was that year.
Yeah, well.
So,
Was that 01?
Yeah, because that...
Was that 01?
I thought the Tuck rule helped the Patriots get to their first Super Bowl.
You're right.
So, yeah. So the postseason after 9/11 involved the Tuck rule, which got the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
So, real quick for you, do you want to read the official NFL rulebook definition of what ball ready for play says?
A dead ball is ready for play while the 40-second play clock is running. When the ball is placed down by an official at the spot where the ball will next be put in play, or when the referee signals it to start. So, yeah. Bills cheated the Dolphins.
That's 100%. That's literally this year's definitions. It's not new.
But,
sorry.
No, you're right.
Maybe the counter argument is the NFL's not rigged. It's just the refs are stupid.
Which might be a
The
possibility.
refs are so dumb it seems rigged.
I'm going to put up a poll when this goes out.
Please do. I want
Is
to
the
know results.
NFL rigged, or are the refs dumb as hell?
We'll address that in the part 2 of the NFL rigging conspiracy.
But I think that does it for our first conspiracy. This was a fun little romp.
Yeah, it went down places I didn't expect.
And I have an interesting pick for our next conspiracy video. But for today, that does it for some conspiracy theories out there. So, I didn't even think of a sign off for this one.
Keep your tinfoil hat on.
No.
Erase out.
The truth is out there. Wait, no. I think X-Files has that
I think
one.
it's copyright.
Yeah.
Kyler, what should be our sign off for the conspiracy theories?
Keep your tinfoil hat. Hang on, wait, hand. Keep your tinfoil hat on, and don't believe everything at surface value.
I like that.
Bam. Come back next
We're at
time.
the top of this.
Stay in the light.